up, everybody? It's Anna and Connor here, and today we are going to talk about trackables and the types of geocaches. If you haven't already, consider subscribing
and like it.
So last Friday was my birthday, and I'm gonna show you some of the trackables that I got. I'm not putting these out mainly because I don't want them to get lost, because these ones are really cool. But the first one, Connor got me this hedgehog one. I just put it on my bag as like a little keychain. But then Connor's parents also got me the Solar System Wonders Trackables, which is the most recent Wonders of the World they released. So this one is the Oceans of the whatever. This one is the Rings of Saturn, and Surface of the Sun. The Crater one, I don't know how to say the first word. The Great Red Spot. The Asteroid Belt. And Europa. So that's really cool. I just want to keep them together. Maybe in the future I'll buy some of my own to put out and see where they travel.
If you guys want to, a couple weekends ago I just completed the Wonders of the World. There's a video if you want to watch that, guys and gals.
Alright, Connor is going to talk about the different types of geocaches.
So the first one is a traditional cache, and basically it's your standard geocache.
Most common
one. You just go out. It's under like a lamppost or hidden under a bench. It could be any size.
And we're gonna put screenshots on each of the geocaches so you can see like what the icon looks like.
So you'll be given like a coordinate to where to go, and then you'll find it. Basically, there's usually a hint. It's pretty straightforward. It's basically what most people do when they get into geocaching. They do the traditional ones because they don't have premium, so that's all they can do. So.
And it's probably the easiest one to hide.
That's true. And there's usually a logbook that you sign your name in, or your username, and then you log your name on the app. And then some large containers might have trackables, or they have like trade items. So there would be like a thing, let's say for example there's like this tiny dinosaur, right? So you either switch it out with something greater than this, or it's the same value as this. So a mystery cache or a puzzle cache, you usually have to like solve a puzzle or figure out the clue, and then there could be like maybe a stage or two, and then you finally find it. We really haven't really done much of those.
I don't think I've done any of them.
Yeah, and usually when we look at them, they're usually like a difficulty like a 2 or 3 or 4 and a 5 around our area. So a multi-cache, we done a couple of these, not many, but they're kind of fun. So basically there's going to be multiple stages, and what you do, so let's say you go to the first stage, it gives you coordinates or it gives you a clue, so you can go to the second stage, and there can be 5 stages or whatever until you hit the final one, and that's will give you the container to the final one. Then you just write your name, and then you can switch out items too.
I call it the scavenger hunt inside the scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Because geocache is pretty much just a giant scavenger hunt in itself.
So the next one is Earth Cache, and these are basically how do you say it again? Geological locations. So it could be like a mountain, it could be like a river, it could be the ocean, just like natural things in the world. You don't find them, usually there's like a question or whatever, you have to solve it, and then you'll get it. We haven't really done much of those either.
I don't know, are there any around us?
There's not that many.
I live in Kansas.
Yeah.
There's not many fascinating things about Kansas.
Yeah.
So the next type is a letterbox hybrid. It's my favorite out of all of them. We just made a video of each of us hiding one which will probably be out before this one. But it's usually just like, well, the only ones that I've seen are like really big containers. I think there are micro ones, which I don't understand why, but they usually have, well, all of them have stamps in it, and each of us just started like a journal where we can collect those collect them in our journals.
There's usually not that many of them, so because.
And there can be different stages to them, kind of like a multi-cache.
Yeah.
I haven't personally done one of those.
So the next one's Where It Goes.
It's a different app.
Yeah, it's a different app. We never done Where It Goes.
So we can't really talk about it.
What I've seen though is that I saw someone like on one of them. There was like they had to do solve this game. They were playing on the phone and then they found the Where It Go. It's very interesting.
I've never watched videos on it. Okay, so lab caches, otherwise known as adventure labs. You guys have seen us do some on our channel. Those are also one of my favorites. It also is in a different app. Usually, I think all the ones I've seen are 5 stages. The nice thing is you don't have to worry about a container in these. They're usually just questions that you can answer off of like plaques and buildings and stuff like that.
So a virtual cache, you can't make these anymore, but they're basically a one-step adventure labs.
Yeah, so they're usually just one question that you answer, and you just like usually send a message to the owner of it, and then you can log it. It's super easy. There aren't a lot of those that I've seen either. Maybe it's just our area. But I wish we could make them still, because that would be
be a lot easier.
An easy one to do. So another cache is a webcam cache. These also can't be made anymore, and I've never seen one on the map. They're pretty rare to find, but you go to where the webcam is, and they post a website where it's like, I guess, streaming from, and you have to take a screenshot of you like streamed through the camera, which that's just pretty much your log. So the last handful of caches are events that you can go to. One that just says event cache, and then there's one called a mega event where there's usually over 500 people that attend those, and there's another one called a giga event. They're very rare. Some of them are held annually, but there's usually about 5,000 people that go, and they can also last several days, while other events will just last one day. And people from all over the world come to the gigas.
So another one is a cache in trash out event. This is basically the community comes together and they just basically clean up an area. Like make sure there's no trash or anything polluting the area, they just clean it up.
There are other caches, if you guys are curious. We just went on to Google and Googled the different types. We covered most of them in this video. There's just like 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, and they're just talking about like other like HQ events, and HQ is in Washington State, so.
HQ block party. Sounds snazzy.
So yeah, that was basically a speed trial of all the caches.
I found a traditional, a multi, a letterbox. I'm going to events later this year. I've done adventure labs and virtuals.
So I've done all those, but the only ones that are different, I would say, is that I've done a mystery cache, I've done an earth cache.
We're going to the Geocoin Fest in September in Overland Park.
So there is another event happening in August. I guess it's a big one in our area. It's called the KC Picnic. So we'll hopefully try to go to that. It's on a Saturday, so that might help us a little bit more than if it's on like a weekday. So we did our best at explaining these. Hopefully it wasn't too hard to understand. Like I said, we'll leave a link so you guys can look at all the geocache type. Alrighty guys and gals and everybody, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, and as always, stay classy.